There's a lot of people that really don't understand how cannabis works. And one of the best results that you can get is to be that grower that's growing amazing cannabis in a fully controlled environment. And, you know, you're getting real testing. It's coming out at in between, let's say, 16 to 20%. It's got an amazing entourage effect. And it's going to give you the feeling of that third, what, you know, you hear these egregious numbers, okay, in cannabis, in commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know, a good example of that is going to a convention and, oh, yeah, I got this Mac and it tested at 35%. And then I literally turn around and I open a bag and I pull out my jar like Bubba Kush Chem Dog and I open it and I hand him a bud and I go, here you go. And then, you know, they'll come back and they'll find me later in the day and they'll be like, oh my God, what was that? It hits way harder than what we had. And I just show them and I'm like, oh, it tests at like 18%. It's not, guys, because it's grown correctly.
I love that.
Everybody has this idea that if they walk into a cannabis dispensary, you know, like every bud test, oh, we got THC diamonds in. They test at 99% pure THC. And, oh, well, we got this brand new apple fritter strain in and it tests at 30%. Does it?
Does it really? Exactly. Does it really?
Oh.
Because in Colorado, there's a 16% allowance for plus or minus.
Right. No. I mean, it's these are corporate bigwigs that don't know anything about cannabis that are just trying to make money. That's what it really comes down to. Because real connoisseurs are smoking cannabis for medicinal purposes, effect, and strain.
Yep.
And they're looking for specific medicinal strains. Like
the terpene content.
Bubba Kush, Acapulco Gold, Chem Dog 4. You know what I mean? Very specific thing. Like I mentioned, Redwood Kush. There's just so much out there. And I feel that if people were more educated, but the people can only be as educated as the people that they're dealing with. You know, so a lot of these people, you know, they think that they're walking into a dispensary talking to somebody that really understands cannabis. And what's happening is they're talking to someone that knows. I mean, I have some amazing conversations with budtenders. And then they find out who I am. And they're just like, oh, I mean, I've had guys literally look at me and be like, no wonder you know so much. Like, it's just absolutely hysterical because there are, you know, I do a lot of promo for a lot of different things, especially over the last, you know, 4 or 5 years working with Bubba and, you know, doing everything that we did with Bubba Kush brand. So it's interesting to see how the industry adapts and morphs around all the originals. And you're going to see these things come to fruition because let's not get it twisted. They're all kind of waiting in the wings. They're sort of hanging out. Everybody wants to see what's going to happen. And there's certain people that are preparing for federal legalization in the United States, much like myself. TCK is a full active nursery in federal legalization. I'm a full active cannabis nursery in the state of Arizona. I'm just preparing. Okay. I see what's happening on a federal level. I've seen what happened with the DEA passing the bill for seeds and clones, literally, you know, being considered hemp. I've seen what the structure looks like, and I also know the industry very well. I've worked with a lot of people. You'll notice, Brice, I'm not really going to mention any names or anything. I will give you guys the experience because it definitely needs to be heard. Okay. But I've worked with people in the industry that will openly admit, even to you in an interview, that as a dispensary, as it grow, you know, they're not going to hold their own genetics. Okay. They see it as a complete loss. Now, this is just absolutely ridiculous. You have a business let's just say the average grow, okay, 25, 50,000 square foot grow. These guys are turning over 10, 15, 20 million, okay, in a quarter. And they don't want to waste 1,000 square foot to put up a separate room of moms to hold their own genetics. Because if it's not growing flower, it's a complete waste. I mean, if you don't see the greed in that, I don't really know how else to present it. Obviously, it has gotten to a point where cannabis has come to a place where it's extremely cheap. It is, as a drug dealer on the streets, it would be pretty difficult to compete with the dispensary. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I do obviously, all my own stuff, growing, extracting, everything. And I could tell you, I can go and buy a real decent gram of quality dabs for way less than what I can produce it for. Okay. That's just, it's a volume thing. Okay. I've also seen it on a level, like out in Oregon. If you guys want to be privy to some really cool stuff, if you ever get a chance to go to Oregon and go to, it's an auction basically. Okay. And it's a cannabis auction house. All right. And I'm telling you guys, they've never seen nothing like this. They'll roll out 10-pound blocks and sell them for $1,100.
Yeah.
Full ounces of dabs shatter for $100 all day. And these guys are going to go, they're going to individually package it, put it in their, whatever dispensary, whatever, and they're literally putting these packs out and everything. And it's some of the most amazing thing you'll ever see. And these are just wholesalers, and they're killing it in the industry, but that's also what's driven the price to where nobody else can really compete. Now, having said that, I digress in the same sense, because I've got cannabis that's available that people will pay an absolute premium for, because I got strains that nobody else has got in the world.
That's how it is in any industry, right? Like, you're always going to have your not your low level players, but the product that's reachable by everybody. That's, the market might fluctuate, and then it'll eventually level out and it'll maintain its pricing. But then in that same product sector, you'll always have exclusive products that only certain people have access to, and you have to know somebody, and those you can ask whatever you want because of what it is. And that'll even be true. That'll be true in cannabis, and because of people like you, because nowadays if you go into your normal dispensary, how far across is all of this flower that you're getting from any original, strain? Or sometimes, with these names and stuff, like, you have no idea what it even is. You don't. And then you brought up a point, it's the testing and everything as well. Can you even trust, what's on the label? There's a few brands out there that you can. I'm sure you're probably familiar out in Colorado, but there's a brand called 710 Labs. One of my favorite brands of cannabis in America. And their product, they don't inflate any numbers or anything. Their average of their THC content is 12 to 14%. I've gotten only a couple times I've gotten something that's been 16 and 18%. But it's one of the more expensive ones. Yeah, it's actually, in every dispensary I go to, it's pretty much the most expensive product in that dispensary. Also, most of the time, the lowest testing on a THC percentage. But I tell you what, it gets you more medically stoned and medically affected than any product that I've sold in Colorado. Besides knowing some personal people that are doing some amazing things, and just that their quality, it's insane. And that's what we want to see, across the board is quality and a dedication to that. But you mentioned it, that the greed, people aren't even dedicated to holding their own genetics, and if it's not flowering, then why have it? And so their dedication to that quality and improving their own genetics in-house and stuff, I just don't feel is there. But it can be, right? It's something that we can fix.
Absolutely. I mean, it can always be fixed, and I think in a sense that's what I'm trying to do. I I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to have access to these heirloom genetics and been working with them now solidly, really solidly for the last 2-3 years. Okay. Where, I mean, I literally just produced 4 brand new strains. I just pulled seeds down. I just pulled bud testers down. 4 strains that nobody else has got in the world. It's just, I believe that I don't know that I would say I'm a purist. It's not. I want people to have a quality product. You know, if you're coming and you're buying TCK Genetics flower, I want you to know that you're getting a quality product every single time. I want you to know that it's bred with the best genetics that it possibly can. We take a lot of time. There's a lot of QC. There's just quality control is very important. You know, there's just certain things that we try and do in order to produce the best quality product. And it's not work, you know, I'm not doing this in a sense for money, if you will. I understand that people are going to look for this product. I understand people are going to want to buy this product. I get that. But that's really not why I'm doing this. I'm breeding these strains and making these genetics so that people can have quality products. Because there's a market for this. And people are asking for it. So that, you know, why not give them exactly what they want? And what people want is small, boutique, craft. A great example of this, much like you just said, Brice, okay? There's a company here. I will shout them out. It's Abundant Organic. They're here in Phoenix, Arizona, okay? They produce...
Abundant Organics, you said?
Abundant Organic. They produce an amazing quality flower. Amazing. They have a strain called Starlord. Okay. It only comes out maybe every 6 months. Okay. And I can only probably get maybe 3.5, 4 grams of it. You need to pay $60-$70 for it.
Wow.
But I will wait for it because it's just something I really enjoy. Okay. As a matter of fact, I enjoyed it so much, I started working with all those type of genetics. If you have a quality product, which they do, even I will wait for it. You know, it's no different than craft beer. You know,
exactly. That's what I say. Yep, it's there. Yep.
Right? If you have an amazing craft brewery like Burlington Beer out in Vermont, right? Mm-hmm. Now, there's no way we can get these products out in the West Coast. We would physically have to go to Vermont to get this product, okay? But it's worth it. Mm-hmm. It's so worth it. You're probably going to rent a crate and ship it home full of beer.
Yep.
Yep. Kind of deal. There is, just like anything else, right? Supply and demand. If there's a need for it and it's exclusive, people drive up the price and start a bidding war without even knowing it, in a sense. You know, I like to keep it very cost effective. And, you know, unfortunately, I'm only going to produce so much. Okay. The Bubba is a perfect example. I've got testers, which is probably really realistically only about 2 pounds at this point. Okay. Now, I will produce legally probably close to 20 pounds because legally I could do 12 here within one facility without a line.
They're in Arizona, right?
Right. So I can I can pull close to, you know, if I veg them long enough and I really just hammer them, you know, and dial it in perfect, I can probably get close to 20 out of 12, you know, in 5-gallon pots in the right. Yeah. And it just nice sea of green, you know, nice canopy. It's just even. And that's
good though, by the way. Some people might not realize getting over a pound of plant, that's pretty good.
I mean, that's really but that's it. And then we'll move on to the next one, So now I got Cat Daddy. Cat Daddy's a New York City sour diesel face off OG raspberry moonshine, and that was mixed with BC God Bud. Okay. I'm actually pheno hunting that right now. They went down yesterday. So as soon as the seeds start going, we'll start popping those, looking for our females, buying everything. We might back cross. Got another one too that I put down, which was our original mom at 60% Bubba Kush HM3, and that was back cross with BC God Bud. And that was our Frosted Flake. Pheno hunt that one again too. Those projects we've been working almost 2 years on to get them where we want them to be so that we know it's quality genetics.
And that's under the Bubba Kush brand, right?
No,
that
is actually all under TCK brand.
Oh, the TCK brand. Okay.
So Bubba Kush brand, the one strain that we did for Bubba this year was the Bubba Walters. And that we will be marketing with Bubba Kush brand. That one will probably go into mass production. So everybody will get that. And there are, let's just say, there's a couple phenos. There's some Space Clean phenos. There's some Frosted Flake phenos. There's some OG phenos. I literally have 2 Bubba positive plant. Like, I can just see it. When I look at them, I can just see it in the plant. What's cool about this cross is I've got maybe 4 dominants: Frosted Flake, Face Off OG, the Bubba, and then the Space Queen, okay? And it's almost like I got 4 different strains of cannabis in a sense, because I got these 4 amazing phenos, all right? Now, if we want to go with mass production and what commercial's going to want my OG strains of this pheno, okay, of the Bubba, because they're the biggest, they're the hardiest, that's OG, it produces, it's dominant. It's a 56, 60 day or easy, but also commercial wise, they may want the Frosted Flake side of it because that's a 45 day. And that one's coming out purple and white. I don't know.
Man, bro.
Right, I promise. I will bring.
Why couldn't we be? We need to do this one in person, man, so we can be smoking right now.
Dude, I can make you cringe. I'll send you some pictures. But that's just torture, and that
is torture, bro. Then I just need to plan my trip to Phoenix here soon. Or you plan your trip out to Las Vegas? One of the two.
I think you should probably come to Phoenix only because if I come to Las Vegas, we're gonna end up at a baccarat table or a craft table. You know how that works. So.
Yeah, I know how that goes. So that's the thing. All my friends, when they come to Vegas, they always want to do that, and I that's why I don't have the problem living in Vegas. I've never been the gambling type, but I can't say that I gamble just in other ways off the tables. I just
yeah.
I like to keep my money. I definitely gamble with my money.
I got a little entourage out in Vegas that likes to gamble. So and they're also prominent in the club DJ scenes too and stuff.
That's right. You're in the music space and everything.
Hey, we don't want to give none of that away.
We don't want to give none of that away.
No, we don't want to give none of that away. Come on, we'll let the public find out for themselves. It's kind of a little mysterious, because it's inevitable. I do have some television interviews actually coming up rather soon. Kevin Johnson from Fox 10 here in Phoenix is very interested in sitting down and doing some interviews as well and shooting a commercial for TCK. There's a lot of people that are very interested in talking about what I'm doing now. Actually, let's talk about that for a second, Brice. So I have a sublingual CBD spray. It's broad spectrum. It does not have THC in it at all whatsoever. You can find this product at tckgenetics.com. We are fully up and operational. Product itself sells itself. It speaks volume. It's amazing. I really can't speak to it enough. And I really also don't want to, because I would love for people to actually try it and experience it for themselves.
You said this is a zero THC product, so this is this is for medicinal use. This is like pain relief, inflammation relief, and stuff like that, correct?
Absolutely. It's ingestible. It's topical. You can spray it on your skin. You can spray it under your tongue. We recommend both. And if you're in a legal state, much like myself, we also have this product available in a full spectrum THC. So it's literally A, B, C, D, THCO, THCH, Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10. Like we just rack them all in there. We want everybody to get a full medicinal effect from this. Now, I can speak to the golfing community much recently here. They love to not ingest this product. They love to spray it their skin where they have pain. So on their knees, their shoulders, their ankles, wrists, stuff like that. And what we find is, since it's semi-permeable, that it doesn't actually, the person does not get psychoactive effects from the THC spray, but it does relieve their pain in some way, shape, or form. I can't really speak to that because everybody's different. So on an individual basis, it works different for everyone. What I can speak to is the fact that we all have an endocannabinoid system. You know, CBD and THC need each other in order to carry each other to your endocannabinoid system. So 2 and 2 kind of ends up in 4 in that one.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's
without
that gets so many times.
Making any sort of medical claims, because I'm not a doctor. You know, I'm definitely not trying to do that.
Right. It's true though. That's something that gets overlooked a lot of times. Is that, you know, people are like, oh, you can just have CBD. You don't need the THC. It's for the relief and stuff. And if you just add in a small amount of THC, it does. Your body accepts it so much better. It works so much better. You know, there's a lot of misconceptions out there. I've even seen companies build products out there of a CBD product of like, oh, when you get too high, take the CBD product. There's actual studies out there. I can't remember if it was you and I talking about it the other day or someone else, but there's studies out there and information out there that's actually completely false, and CBD can actually do the opposite and help the experience even more and increase it. But I think it just, you know, it maybe helps your body process it a little bit more, but it does need to be working harmoniously together. And that's why we need safe access across the states, and we need the decriminalization so that way there can be interstate trade, and that way, you know, companies like Tck Genetics and stuff can get their products out farther than just their market that they're in, you know, and that way these places in the country that are growing these amazing plants and genetics, that way they can actually share them instead of it being such a limited access held to one state, you know.
Sure. I mean, let's all get together and really hope that the government and our Congress and our senators and the House literally start passing cannabis legislation so that, you know, TCK can become a reputable cannabis nursery, because those things are very viable. As a matter of fact, I'm already set up to do it. It's just a matter of time.
It's coming. You saw the DEA just changed their law on season clones. The federal government just changed their time for allowing cannabis use before being hired on in the military and other positions like the CIA, FBI, and different stuff. They, instead of it being a year, now you can have cannabis use in the last 60 days. They're giving out waivers and stuff in the military for cannabis use and everything. So it's coming. It is coming.
So let's go into a small example of that. Okay. A great example of how absolutely ridiculous the U.S. government is being would be Italy. So all cannabis in Italy is actually controlled by the Italian army. The reason that cannabis is controlled by the Italian army is kind of pretty obvious. Most of it's for therapy, relaxation, PTSD management. I mean, let's really be fair.
Yeah.
If the Italian military and their government can figure it out, what's wrong with us? Like, that's just really unnerving. We have countries that are literally using cannabis for recovery therapy. Mm-hmm. And then we have countries that are trying to outlaw CBD because it's just, you know, there's not enough conclusive evidence and it could actually harm people. Yeah. I mean, anybody out there that really honestly believes that, you really need to do some research. Really need to do some research. Just recently, like I said, I did a golf tournament. When I was talking to a majority of the golfers, if they did not use CBD, they definitely were not opposed to trying a sample. As a matter of fact, most of the golfers would say to me, oh, I've already taken my, CBD or my tincture or my cream I put on my knee already for the day. What do you have that I can use on top of that? Do you have any THC products? Because that's what we're interested in. I want pain relief. Okay. Looking at this from the very simple perspective, THC would be the cure. CBD would be the maintenance. Okay. Maintenance during your day, while you're working, while you're active. And then, it's your aid to help you eat. It's your aid to help you sleep. It's your aid to recover overnight. I've worked with many individuals, all ranges from 6-month-old to 90 years old. And I've seen from professional athletes to just the, average common person on the street. Everybody has pretty much a very similar experience, even though, like I said, it's individual to themselves, But I also think a good part of it is that they have to, you gotta believe in a sense too, as well. Like, just like anything else, just like a placebo test, you can give people a sugar pill and tell them that it's going to cure cancer, and it's actually them that's curing the cancer, not the sugar pill. Yeah. So, the fact that we produce CBD as human beings, okay, and that we have an endocannabinoid system, and now that we have the ability to use amazing products like the spray to replenish these symptoms and help ourselves out and give our bodies what they need, that makes a huge difference.
It really does, man. It really does. Well, Brandon, I appreciate we could keep going and going. I think maybe it'd be cool I kind of want to follow this up and maybe just put a thing out there, maybe a part 2 sometime. I think it'd be kind of cool to have you come on. And I think there's a lot of people that are interested in growing themselves, especially as states become legal and they allow you to, and they want the opportunity to produce it themselves, but they just don't know how. And maybe we can come on and talk about that and just kind of a quick step guide to getting started growing and what to look for and stuff from someone that has so much experience in it. I appreciate everything that you do. I'm glad just to know you, to meet you. I appreciate Ryan for introducing us, and looking forward to the stuff that we're going to possibly do together in the future with the Cannabis Consumption Lounge coming to Las Vegas, and then just the headway that we're going to be able to push together to try to make a change in this industry, not only on our local levels, but on a federal level as well. So thank you, Brandon, for being here today and sharing the conversation, man, and have a great weekend, bro. And we'll talk to you soon.
Oh, no, thank you guys. Thanks for having me on. I mean, I'll come back anytime. We can sit down and just, talk growing, talk cannabis, whatever it is. You just point me in the right direction. And I've got so much knowledge that it would really be a shame to waste it. Like I said, I'm always learning new things. I love to educate people. Maybe we should put an event together where we do some education,
Yeah.
Around the lounge too as well. So yeah, anytime, man. Part 2 definitely come soon for all the fans out there.
You know what? Let's put it this. Part 2, I'm going to be in Phoenix. Let's just make that happen. How about that? Okay. And we'll be in person, hang out together. That sound good?
There you go. There you go,
man. It's set. Part 2 will be in Phoenix. Thank you, Brandon. Have a great day, bro.
I can't guarantee Brice will be speaking correctly halfway through that interview, but then again, if that doesn't happen, I guess I'm not doing my job correctly. So,
there we go. Let's put it on the test then.
When you come out here too, we'll book you a time so we can take you over to the Hot Rocks so you can join Super Show. So experience that.
Love it.
That'll be amazing.
That'll be amazing. All right, man. Thank you so much, bro. We'll talk to you soon, man. Have a great day.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
The opinions expressed on this CannabisRadio.com program are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of CannabisRadio.com. Any rebroadcast, republication, or retransmission of this program without proper consent is prohibited.